Hello everyone, my name is Fatwa Sidibe. Welcome to my video. I hope you're keeping safe in these times, and I hope the COVID pandemic hasn't been too harsh on you and that you've been able to prevail. I'd like for us to talk about collective or cooperative Black power and influence. I feel like this phrase is very much underused in circles where we discuss, Black issues and stuff. Most of the time, I feel like we just focus on other things, but we really don't talk about power. We don't talk about influence that much. I don't feel that. I don't really see that much. And I feel like this is a very important thing that we need to start looking at, because ultimately I feel that this is what we need. If we are going to self-actualize as people of African descent, we will need to harness power and influence. And that is the reality. We just cannot think that we're going to be able to do that just by talking about it, or just by complaining about it, or just by pointing fingers to other people. We have to be able to harness our powers and also, maintain influence. But so first of all, let's look at this phrase. I'm going to try and look at the individual words. So collective, I think that word is it's pretty easy. Collective just means like a group of people who share a common goal, a group of people who share like a common interest, or a group of people who have a common ancestry, like who share the same race, like us as Africans or Black people. And so because they share the same race, or maybe the same organization, or they have the same interests, they have a commonality, and so therefore they're forming a collective. The other word is cooperative, and I feel like this word is actually more important, or maybe it should be linked to collective, because I think it gives the collective meaning. Because if you're in a collective and you are just there, but you don't have the same aim, you don't have the same goals, everybody's just looking out for themselves, then you're just an empty shell of an organization, or just an empty shell of a community or a nation. What makes a collective powerful is cooperation. And cooperation just simply means people supporting each other, people being compassionate towards each other, people understanding that we share the same goals, we have the same problems, and we're going to the same destination. And so therefore we have to support each other, And this support can come in many ways. It can come financially, it can come spiritually, it can come physically, in terms of somebody needs someone to babysit for them, and they readily have that help. If someone needs someone to support them to open a business, they readily have that help in the community, things like that. So this is what makes a collective, and in this case, I'm talking about us Black people. This is what is going to make us a powerful force: cooperation. I don't want to, okay, let me not, otherwise I'm going to forget. The reason why this is the basis for our unity: cooperation. If we're thinking in terms of the whole, we have to understand that we have the same aim, we have the same goal, and we have the same destination. And until we understand that, it's going to be difficult for us to have that spirit of supporting one another, because then we're all going to be thinking that, I can't support him or her because then he's going to have things that I don't have, the kind of thoughts that, some people have. But when we know that right now we have the same issues, we have the same problems, and if we understand that we have the same destination, that when we get to that destination, or when we actualize to that destination, then it's going to be good for the collective, then we will be able to support and collaborate and cooperate with each other, because that's the basis of cooperation. The basis of cooperation is knowing that if I support my brother or if I support my sister, then I'm supporting myself. Because when they get whatever they are getting, whether it's more money, more power, more influence, then I will have more power and influence, because we are all of the same. We have this. We have a commonality. We are a collective. So yeah, that's the definition of cooperation. So black, that's just really obvious. Okay, power. The next word is power. I think power is a very, very visceral word. It's very powerful. And I feel like this is the word that is quite underused in black circles, in circles where we talk about black issues. Either it's because we're just oblivious to it, or we don't really discuss it that much, or we don't feel like it's important. But anyway, I haven't seen. I might be mistaken, but I haven't heard people talk about power that much. Not in the sense that in the sense of control, not in the sense of being able to define your own destiny. So okay, so what does power? Let's look at the definition of power. What does power mean? Power means the ability to move something, the ability to create, the ability to cause something, the ability to effect, the ability to express. All of those things I feel are power. Ultimately, I feel it's the ability to be, the ability to exist. Because when you exist as a person or as a collective, as a nation, you all of those things you are going to be doing, you're going to be expressing yourself. You need power for that. You need to be able to have the space and the freedom to be able to express yourself in terms of what you say, in terms of how you be, how you present yourself. Also, power means to be able to determine who you're going to be, determine who you're going to be, what you're going to be, what is important to you. All of that is power. The ability to say that this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be, and I am going to fight, or I am going to make sure that this the way I am exists, or the way I am stays. That takes power. So without power you cannot be. Without power you can't cause anything. You can't effect anything. Without power you don't have a say. Or nobody's gonna listen to you. So therefore power is very important. It's very important to be able, because power in essence is the force behind life. It's the force behind existence. If you're just existing, but you have no power to express yourself, then you're just there. You're just occupying space. And so therefore, this is a very, very important concept for us as Black people to understand. Let's look at the other word, influence. Influence, for me, it means the ability to cause other people to do what you want them to do. It can also mean the ability to cause other people and yourself, on your group, to have a reality that acquiesces to you, that is beneficial to you. So in this case, what I mean by that is, if you are able to cause people to see that they should be a certain way, and that way you want them to be that way, because if they are that way, then it's beneficial to you. That's influence, and we see that happening a lot. And this is very it's very subconscious for most of us, because most of us don't even realize that we are being influenced. You're being influenced to look the way you look. You're being influenced to wear what you wear. You're being influenced to have interests. all of everything that you think you are is influenced by the collective. It's influenced by the power, the so-called powers that be, because you don't really have a choice. You may think you do, but the choice that's available to you is only the things that you can see. So therefore, that's not real choice. Most of the time, you have to be able to see underneath, under the veil, to really see what's happening. But I don't want to get into that. But yeah, just understand that influence is the power to cause other people to do what you want them to do. So collective or cooperative Black power and influence is the ability for black people to cooperate in a way that enables them to harness their powers, be it spiritual, physical, financial, mental powers, in a way that is going to be able to, in a way that they can use it to influence their reality and also the reality of other people. That is through self-actualizing. Well, you don't really need to influence other people, but it's important for you to influence yourself and your people to be who they are, to be fully expressed, to be able to fully express themselves as Africans without fear or favor, to be able to fully express their culture, their way of doing things without fear or favor, and in a way that it is also dominant. So let's look at power and influence in our homes. What does it mean to have power and influence in our homes? Well, if you've got power and influence in your home, it means that you are listened to in your home. It means that you are respected. It means that people value your opinion. People, if you are, like for instance, if you are the mother or the father, you are able to influence what the kids do. You're able to influence your family, because you're the breadwinner. So when the amount of money that you bring home is what the family is going to use to shop with. So that influences their choice of what they buy, and also their lifestyle. So that's one way of influencing. Also, the mother can also have power and influence, because she is the one who decides what is eaten in the home, what kind of furniture, what kind of decorations are. If, for instance, if the wife is doing the decorations in your home, then she also influences how your home looks like. She also influences how your kids look, how your kids dress like, and so yeah, that's and it's based on having authority and power. If you have authority and power, then you're able to easily influence. Let's look at the power and influence in our community as Black people. Power and influence in our community is to be able to define and decide who we are in our community. If you're in your community and you are very active in building projects that go around in your community, and to the point where you actually can decide or have a say in what gets built. For instance, if a library is being built and you, for instance, feel like, okay, the library is taking the space of a maybe Whole Food store, which you feel like is more important. I'm just giving this an example. And you are not able to garner your community support, your Black community support, to be able to say that, hey, we understand that you want to build this library here, but this Whole Foods is more important to us. What we're eating right now is much more important to us than what we read. Why not we use another space, somewhere else? Then you don't have any power. You don't have local authority, because you're just existing in the community. You don't have any say in what goes around in the community. There's no power there. For you to have power and influence in your community, it means you have a say in what goes on in your community. Any building project, you are aware of what's going to be built, and I'm not just aware. You are active in deciding what gets built. No one can just come in and build a club in your community without your knowledge. No one can just come in and start open a shop, a liquor store, or a pawn store and you are in a nice family, community. So that's what I'm talking about. You have a say in what goes around in your community. This is what shows that when you're able to have a say in what goes around in your community, and who comes in, who brings in what, and takes out what, and you have a say in that, then you have true power and influence in your community. And this is one thing that Black people should be very, very aware of. Most of the time, we live in communities where we're not aware of anything that's going on, or we're just not interested in what's going on in around our communities. We just live there. Anyone can just come in and do anything. Anyone can just come in and open a shop and take your money out of your community. When you could have garnered yourself together. You could have cooperated and opened a shop that's benefiting, that someone Black is opened, and it's benefiting the Black community, not somebody from outside. Okay, what about power and influence in our nation? When Black people have power and influence in the nation that they live in, that means they are able to decide who is in government. They have the power to decide who represents them in government. They have the power to decide what kind of trade that goes on internationally. Like, for instance, if a certain kind of food is coming from another country and it's harmful to, say, the Black community has the power and influence to say that, no, we don't want that. We don't want this kind of food here because it's going to affect us and our kids. What else? The Black community, when the Black community has power and influence in the nation, they have the ability to, I think this one is actually in the community. When you have power and influence in your community, that means you have the ability to say that, okay, this is the type of school that we want for our kids. This is what we want to be taught in the because we feel that what is being taught right now is not benefiting our kids. It's not really helping them to be proud of themselves as Africans or as Black people. And so therefore we want to change, we want to design our own curriculum, or we want to have our own maybe teachers, something like that. But these are the things that you can do when you have collective power and influence. What's the other thing? Collective power, having collective power and influence internationally. Okay, when you're able to have all these powers, when you're able to have collective power as Black people, as Africans, collective power and influence in your home, then power and influence in your community, then power and influence nationally, where you're able to affect foreign policies and stuff like that, and affect who you vote for, who represents you, and what happens in your community based on that vote, and all of those things. Then now you are able to have international power. Now you are recognized as an entity. You're recognized as a nation, and you're able to even have relations with other countries, especially countries in Africa. Because you have garnered so much power and influence where you are in the diaspora. Now you're able to even make trade bilateral agreements through your government, of course, to your government, but because you have a representative there, or you have representatives there, it's easier. So it's very, very important for us to start thinking like that. And I feel like most of the time we just think about the lowly things, like, oh, we just want to get rid of this, we just want to get rid of racism, we want to get rid of racism, we want to get rid of police brutality, we want to get rid of this, that, and the other. But we have to understand that in order for us to get rid of these things, we have to garner, this is what we have to garner first, power and influence. And once we have that power and influence, then there will be no racism relatively, because then you are able to handle it, you're able to deal with it, because you have the power in your home, in your community, and in your nation to be able to, to cut it. So, if you're interested in learning more about this, and not just interested in learning more about this, you can join me in my webinar where we've started to build a cooperative community where we are going to be practicing cooperation actively, supporting each other, building that cooperative sense of cooperation, building that sense of unity, and not just in terms of just talking about it, but in terms of practicing it, helping each other financially, helping each other, supporting each other in terms of needs, in terms of spiritual support, in terms of physical support, in terms of really, really looking out for each other, and understanding that that's the basis, that's the basis for all these other things. If you're interested in learning more about this, or if you're interested in actually joining our community and being part of this small community that we're building, which we hope will grow, please join my webinar. The link is below this video, and I will take you through all the things that we do there, all the things that we teach there, our code of conduct, what you're going to be able to get because you are in this cooperative community, this cooperative Black community, how this will benefit you and your family. And like I said at the beginning of this video, it's very important that you also understand that in order for you to want to be part of this community, you have to be community oriented. You have to have that sense of cooperation. You have to be someone who is supportive, who's understanding, who is able to see the big picture, in terms of Black people uniting, Black people coming together, and looking at the being able to understand that there's a higher calling, there's a higher goal for us. And so, like I said, yeah, if you're interested in joining our community, just click on the link below and join the webinar, which we'll be having on the 17th of February, 17th of next month, and where you learn more about this community, and I'll see you there. Oh, and thank you for watching. I always forget to ask people to like, subscribe, and share this video so that other Black people can see it and start discussions around this issue, about about power, influence, and also creating Black cooperative economies. So I'm going to ask you, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And thank you so much again for taking time out of your day or night to watch my video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.